Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are taking on a really big one, a question that sits at the very foundation of, well, everything. How do you describe the universe before there was a universe?
And we're looking at a piece of source material that is so ancient, yet it feels startlingly modern. It's really incredible.
It really is. We're talking about the Nasadiya Sukta. It's from the Rigveda. You find it in the 10th Mandala, hymn 129.
People often call it the hymn of creation, but honestly, calling it a story just misses the point completely. This text isn't really interested in giving you answers.
Well,
It's interested in defining the absolute limits of what can even be asked.
and when you put this text next to, other creation myths from around the world, the difference is just. It's immediate. It's profound.
Absolutely. Most myths give you a clear blueprint. A god did this, or that being was sacrificed and the world was made. Dogma.
Right. Definitive answers. But our sources all point out that the Nasadiya Sukta has this contemplative, philosophical, and really an explicitly agnostic tone.
Agnostic is the perfect word. And that's its genius. It's this non-theistic approach. It doesn't rely on a typical creator figure, and that's what makes it feel so current.
It really does. It seems to echo ideas about the universe coming from a single, formless state.
Or even quantum fluctuations in a vacuum. I mean, it demands inquiry, it demands doubt, which for a text this old is just astonishing.
Yeah. So the analysis we're using to frame this from Gurudeva suggests we look at it in three parts, three movements almost.
Right. First, there's the assumption, which sets the stage of non-existence.
Then the unfolding, where a model of creation is actually built up.
And then the nullification. This is the big twist, where the whole model is pulled back, leaving you with this radical doubt.
Okay, let's unpack this. This is going to be a fascinating deep dive.
So we have to start with that first part, the assumption. That's verses 1 and 2. The sage immediately puts you in a place where, honestly, our normal language just breaks down.
He's trying to define the boundary condition for the universe.
Ah.
What was there when literally nothing we recognize was there?
Yeah.
And verse 1 it throws down the ultimate philosophical challenge right away. It says, before creation, there was neither non-existence
Mahed.
nor existence.
Ah.
You had no air, no space beyond the air. It's just this exercise in extreme elimination.
And that's more than just a word puzzle. It's a huge philosophical hurdle. I mean, we define everything by what is sad and what is not nashed.
If you take both of those away, what's left?
Yeah.
How do you even begin to think about that?
You really can't. The tools we use for reality they fail. The text keeps pushing too. It starts asking these questions.
What covered it? Where was it? In whose keeping? It's pushing against the very idea of space and shelter.
Exactly. And then it brings up this idea of a primal fluid. Was there then cosmic fluid in depths unfathomed?
Gahana Gavram, the deep, unfathomable cosmic depths. So not water like we know it.
No, no. It's pure, undifferentiated potential.
Okay, so just as you're trying to wrap your head around that fluid state, verse 2 comes in and eliminates even more. It takes away the dualities we use to organize our thoughts, specifically time.
Right. It says neither death nor immortality existed. And this is the crucial part. There was no distinction between things. There was not then the torch of night and day.
Dharatriyan nasit prakita. No night and day means.
Yeah.
No sequence, no rhythm, no time.
The state is eternal, but it's completely undefined.
So if the sage has gotten rid of existence, non-existence, space-time, life, death, what is left? He has to introduce a single exception to this nothingness. He calls it the one. But hold on a minute. If the text is really trying to be agnostic, why bring in the one? Isn't that just swapping a normal God for a philosophical one?
That is a brilliant question, and that's the key distinction here. The one isn't presented as some willful, conscious, external deity.
Okay.
It's more of a necessary logical deduction. The universe we're in right now exists, so something must have been there with the potential to become, well, all of this.
So it's a logical necessity.
Exactly. And the text defines its existence in this stunning way. It says, the one breathed windlessly and self-sustaining. Ani davatas fatayatarekas.
Breathed windlessly. That's beautiful. It's
Right.
like activity without a mechanism, action without an external force.
Precisely. Svataya means self-sustaining or inherent power. It exists without needing anything. Its existence is the foundation. It's not an agent who creates, it's the singular potential.
So that completes the assumption. There was that one then, and there was no other.
It's the ultimate zero state, but with inherent energy.
And the transition from there,
Yeah.
from that isolated one to how our complex universe began to unfold, I mean, this is one of the most intellectually thrilling parts of the text.
It really is. This is the second section, verses 3, 4, and 5. The conceptual Big Bang, you could say.
So the unfolding. Verse 3 starts by describing the state of that singular potential.
And it was darkness wrapped in darkness, that undifferentiated fluid we talked about. The text calls it unillumined cosmic water. Salilai sarvam ai idam. Just a vast, dark field of potential.
So how does that potential energy become, kinetic reality? The text says, from that darkness, the one arose, and it was born of the power of knowledge.
Tapasas tan mahina yatekam. That word, tapas, is so important here. It's not just physical power. It can mean austerity or inner heat.
But here it's something different.
Here, given the context, it's closer to an internal power of insight, knowledge, intense focus. It's like the self-awareness that allows the potential to realize itself, the first glimmer of differentiation.
And once you have that cognitive spark, the stage is set for the engine of change. Verse 4 introduces the primal force, desire, case.
It descended as the primal seed, born of the mind.
Okay, but our sources translate this as desire, and in a modern context, that word can sound, well, a bit trivial. Like wanting a cup of coffee. Is this more like a primal will or a fundamental need?
That is exactly the distinction you have to make. This isn't trivial desire. Kais here is the necessary instability, the cosmic need for existence to move beyond its perfect, singular, formless state.
The ultimate why not?
The ultimate why not. It's the first disturbance in that field of potential, the impulse that creates a tension between the one and the void.
And this desire, this kaias, it leads to one of the most famous philosophical lines in the whole text. The sages, the Kavayomaniya, they searched their hearts.
And they found the key connection. That which is kin to that which is not. Sato bandum asatanir avindan.
So sat, what is, and asat, what is not. They're related.
They're kin. That line is the bridge. Desire links the existence we know now to the formless non-existence that came before it. It means our reality isn't totally separate from its origin.
It's almost like saying order crystallizes out of chaos, but that the two are fundamentally connected.
You could see it that way, yeah. It connects the vacuum state to the particles.
So once that link is made, the universe starts to organize itself. That's verse 5. We start getting structure.
Yes. They stretched a cord across the void, and seminal powers made mighty forces fertile. You're watching the basic physics of the cosmos come into being.
And it all ends with the definition of two complementary forces that emerge.
The two structural elements you need for creation. The text says, below was strength, or svata, and over it was impulse, or priyatya.
So how should we think about separating svasa and priyatya? What's the difference for you, the listener?
Well, think of it like this. Svata is the foundational strength, the substance, the raw potential energy, the matter, the structure.
The stuff that's capable of existing.
Exactly. And priyati is the impulse, the driving energy, the kinetic force that acts on that foundation. You need both.
You need the stuff, and you need the motive power to organize it.
You got it. And that creates the structure of above and below. And intellectually, this is a complete, satisfying model of creation. It moves logically from the one to a dynamic, structured duality.
It is this beautifully laid out, detailed roadmap. The one exists, tapas differentiates it, kayas is the catalyst, and then svata and prayatya build the structure. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But then we have the third phase, the nullification, verses 6 and 7. After building this incredibly complex, layered model, the sukta just pulls the rug out. Why throw out such a perfect argument?
And this is the genius of the text. This is why it's so profound. The sage is showing you the limits of thinking itself, even highly sophisticated thinking.
Okay.
The nullification, starting with verse 6, is the climax of inquiry. It's the peak of doubt. The sage questions everything they just built, asking, who knows, and who can say whence it all came and how creation happened?
And the reason for the doubt is key. It's not just, being tired of thinking. It's about chronology.
Yeah.
The text explicitly says the gods themselves are later than creation.
Just stop and think about the intellectual courage it takes to say that. The known deities, the most powerful beings in the pantheon, were late to the party.
They came after the event.
They came after, so they couldn't have possibly witnessed or understood the absolute origin. So even the highest beings, have limited knowledge. The question, who truly knows, it becomes unanswerable.
That shift in perspective it's breathtaking. And it leads to that ultimate agnostic statement in verse 7 about the great architect, the supervisor of creation. Even he is subject to doubt.
That is the most powerful line in the entire sukta for me. It asks if the creator fashioned it or not, and then it concludes that the creator, the one who sees everything, he knows. Or maybe even he does not know.
Yadivana Veda.
Yadivana Veda.
The idea that the very source of creation might be blind to its own starting point. That is a profound gesture towards mystery. It puts the limit of knowing not on us or lesser gods, but on the ultimate creative power itself.
And this is where Gurudeva's interpretation just clicks into place. By nullifying the detailed models from the first 5 verses with this conclusion of ultimate doubt.
It leaves what he called free space.
Free space for an individual seeker to figure out the universe in their own way of realization. The search for absolute truth isn't a destination. It's not a dogma. It's a continuous, individual process.
So the Nasadiya Sukta is so important, not because it gives us a blueprint for creation, but because it gives us, I guess, permission to doubt.
Yes.
It encourages inquiry and contemplation by showing the limits of all fixed knowledge, whether it's human or maybe even divine.
It really stands apart. I mean, for context, in the Rigveda, it sits next to other cosmological hymns like the Purva Sukta and the Hiranyagar Sukta. But this is the one that so radically embraces uncertainty. It prioritizes the process of questioning over the comfort of an answer.
So if the ultimate creator might not even know the answer, where does that leave you? The modern seeker who is still searching for that absolute truth.
It leaves you empowered. It leaves you realizing that the journey itself is the validation. The deepest meaning of the Nasadiya Sukta isn't in that beautiful model of kas and tapas. It's in the nullification. It's in that final hint.
That if the ultimate creator might not know,
then the ultimate lesson isn't in finding the answer. It's in realizing that the act of seeking, the act of embracing that profound humility, that's what validates our own individual process of realization. The absolute truth, the source suggests, is something that has to be continuously sought. It exists beyond any fixed model or any easy answer. The search itself is sacred.